Michael Alig is a co-founding member of the Club Kids, a group of young clubgoers led by Alig and his longtime best friend James St. James in the late 1980s and early 1990s. In 1996, Alig pleaded guilty to manslaughter, after killing and dismembering Andre Angel Melendez in a confrontation over a drug debt. Underground club scene, Alig moved to New York to study at Fordham University, from which he later dropped out. He began working at Danceteria in 1983 as a busboy. A natural at throwing parties with few or no resources, he soon rose in New York's party scene. Alig was mentored by socialite James St. James and club owner Peter Gatien while rising in popularity and prominence in the national underground club scene. Alig's Club Kids, Alig's other proto-copyright GA copywriters included Jitsi, Genitalia, Robert Freeze Riggs, Richie Rich, Charlie Bristano and Amanda Lepore. The Club Kids' outrageousness resulted in their appearing on the news and the television talk show Circuit. They appeared on the Geraldo Rivera Show 5 times. Killing of Angel Melendez, Andre Angel Melendez worked at the Limelight, and after the bar's closure by federal agents, Melendez was fired. With no job, he moved into Alig's apartment. Increasingly affected by substance abuse, Alig and his friend Robert Freeze Riggs murdered Melendez after an argument over many things including a long-standing drug debt. Alig has claimed many times that he was so high on drugs that the events are quite cloudy. On December 9, 1996, Riggs confessed to police that on March 17, 1996. On a Sunday in March of 1996 I was at home. And Michael Alig and Angel Melendez were loudly arguing. And getting louder. I opened the room and started towards the other bedroom. At which point Michael Alig was yelling, "Help me. Get him off of me." Angel started shaking him violently and banging him against the wall. He was yelling, "You better get my money or I'll break your neck." I grabbed the hammer and hit Angel over the head. Then, according to Riggs, he hit Melendez a total of 3 times on the head. Then Alig grabbed a pillow and tried to smother him. While Melendez was unconscious, Riggs went to the other room and, when he returned, he noticed a broken syringe on the floor. However, Alig stated that he injected Melendez with Drano, while Riggs claimed that Alig poured it down Melendez's throat and duct-taped his mouth closed. Since Alig and Riggs did not know what to do with the body, they put it in the bathtub that they filled with ice. This prevented the body from rotting, but after a few days, the corpse began to smell. After discussing what to do next, Alig injected himself with heroin. He then cut the legs off the corpse, put them in a garbage bag and stuffed the rest into a box. Afterwards, he threw the corpse into the Hudson River. The New York Times reported that Riggs gave Alig 10 bags of heroin to chop up the body. Investigation of the disappearance. While Alig was in rehab, rumors of Alig's involvement in Melendez's death were reported in the Village Voice by Michael Musto. Although no names were used, Musto's reports included the details of the murder. Musto had previously reported on Alig's firing from the Limelight and noted the buzz about a missing club person. On April 27, 1996, the New York Post's page 6 column ran a lead item about the murder mystery, citing Musto's reporting as well as a New York Magazine piece quoting an evasive Alig. Over the coming weeks, the Village Voice continued to report and make accusations about Melendez's murder. Through September, the police had still not questioned Alig about the murder. They were focused on his business partner Peter Gatien, wanting Alig to testify against him. Since several months had passed, many people believed Alig would get away with it, until a dismembered torso was pulled from the waters off Staten Island. James St. James recounted how Melendez's brother was baffled by what he regarded as callous indifference by the police and by the Sinestas Angel had considered friends. In November 1996, the coroner reported the body had been identified as Melendez. Alig fled New York, staying in a hotel in New Jersey before the police surrounded the location. In December 1997, Alig and his accomplice Robert Riggs pleaded guilty to manslaughter and were sentenced to 10 to 20 years in prison for Melendez's death. While in prison, Alig told Musto, "I know why I blabbed. I must have wanted to stop me. I was spinning out of control. It's like the old saying, what do you have to do to get attention around here? Kill somebody. Prison. While incarcerated in the New York prison system, Alig was transferred from prison to prison and also spent time in the psychiatric ward at Rikers Island. Parole. Alig became eligible for parole in 2006. His first parole request, in November 2006, was denied, allegedly after parole officers watched the fictional movie based on Alig's life Party Monster, starring Macaulay Culkin. He was again denied parole in July 2008. Alig was released from prison on parole May 5, 2014. In popular culture, the events of Michael Alig's years as a club promoter up to his arrest were portrayed in the 1998 documentary Party Monster, the shockumentary, and the 2003 feature film Party Monster starring Macaulay Culkin as Alig and Seth Green as St. James. The events are also covered in St. James's memoir, Disco Bloodbath, re-released with the title Party Monster after the release of the movie of the same name. Alig was interviewed while in prison for Limelight, directed by Billy Corben. His case has also been featured on the TV series American Justice, and Notorious, as well as Deadly Devotion on Investigation Discovery. Prison CD. In June 2001, David M. Lambert of the British Artists Collective, the Satire Group, visited Alig at the Clinton Correctional Facility in Dannemora, New York. He made recordings that were used in the creation of A Terrible Beauty featuring Michael Alig, a 9-track music CD using samples from the biographical movie Party Monster, original lyrics and Alig's vocals, among other content. References, notes. External links: Michael Alig on Twitter, Michael Alig at the Internet Movie Database, December 1988 cable TV interview with Alig and Keoki, Party Boy in a Cage by Jonathan Van Meter for New York Magazine.